Welcome to a deep dive into Spectral AI. They're a company that's taking artificial intelligence and applying it to a field I think we all know
Yeah,
and sometimes dread, wound care.
right.
They've created something called Deep View. It's a system that actually predicts how well a wound will heal on day one.
Oh, wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
No more guessing games.
Yeah.
Imagine the impact that could have on treatment decisions.
It really is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is that Deep View uses multispectral imaging. Imagine an X-ray that sees beyond the surface,
Okay.
capturing information about blood flow and oxygenation, things invisible to the naked eye.
Wow.
That data is then fed into an AI algorithm that analyzes those subtle details to predict the wound's healing trajectory.
That's incredible. And this isn't just for chronic wounds, is it?
You're absolutely right.
And
Snapshot
I read that they also have a handheld version called Deep View Snapshot M.
is designed for diverse settings, like the military or emergency situations. It received over $7.2 million in non-dilutive government funding, indicating its potential applications extend beyond traditional healthcare.
So how does Spectral AI actually make money? I mean, government contracts are great, but they can't rely on those forever, can they?
You've hit a crucial point. Their revenue streams are diverse. You mentioned government contracts.
Yeah.
They do have a multi-year contract worth up to $150 million from BARDA, but they're also preparing to launch commercial sales of Deep View in late 2024.
Okay.
And let's not forget their intellectual property, 26 patents with 38 pending, which could lead to licensing opportunities down the line.
Okay, so they've got multiple irons in the fire, but what about the market itself? Is this AI wound care thing a niche market, or is it something bigger?
It's much bigger. Spectral AI operates within the AI medical imaging market, which is
Yeah.
projected to skyrocket to nearly $27 billion by 2029.
Really?
Think about it. Advancements in AI, a global shortage of radiologists,
Right.
the rise of chronic diseases, and increased healthcare spending. It all points to a massive opportunity for companies like Spectral AI.
That's really promising. But what about the challenges? I mean, healthcare is notorious for red tape and regulations.
You're not wrong. There are definitely hurdles. Regulatory approval is a big one, as is the complexity of integrating AI into existing clinical workflows.
Right.
Then there's the cost barrier. These systems don't come cheap. And of course, there's the ever-present risk of rapid technological advancements. What's cutting edge today might be outdated tomorrow.
So it's a high-stakes, fast-paced game they're playing. Let's shift gears and talk about the team behind Spectral AI. Who's at the helm?
Their founder and chairman, Dr. J. Michael DeMaio, is a highly experienced cardiothoracic surgeon with over 30 years in the field.
Okay.
He even held leadership positions at Baylor Scott & White, a renowned healthcare system.
Wow.
The rest of the leadership team also boasts a wealth of experience in finance, marketing, and operations, drawn from the medical device and tech sectors.
That sounds like a solid team. But what about their ability to handle a crisis? Have they faced any major challenges, and how do they respond?
While information on specific crisis responses is limited, their communication strategy speaks volumes. They've been proactive with news releases and investor updates,
Okay.
suggesting a commitment to transparency.
Transparency is always a good sign. Let's dive into how they're managing their money. Are they spending wisely, or are there red flags?
Their capital allocation appears balanced. They're investing in R&D to stay ahead of the curve, forming strategic partnerships to expand their reach, and actively managing their debt.
Okay.
However, consistent profitability remains elusive. They haven't quite cracked that code yet.
So they're still operating in the red. That's a little concerning. What's the story behind their financial health?
Yeah.
They're projecting record revenue for the upcoming year. But are those numbers sustainable?
That's the million-dollar question. The projected revenue for the 2024 fiscal year is expected to exceed $28 million, a significant milestone.
Okay.
But as you pointed out, they're yet to achieve profitability. Their gross margin is decent, but earnings per share and free cash flow are currently negative.
So it sounds like a classic growth versus profitability dilemma. They're investing heavily to capture market share,
Exactly.
but that's coming at the expense of short-term profits.
And that raises some concerns about their financial stability, especially with short-term liabilities exceeding their cash position. They are actively managing their debt, though, which is a positive sign for their long-term financial health.
So it's a mixed bag. Lots of potential,
Right.
but also some financial risks that need to be monitored closely. We'll dive deeper into their market standing and see if their performance justifies the hype in just a bit.
Let's look at how the market is viewing this company and what investors are saying.
Okay, so what's the buzz? Are investors bullish or bearish on Spectral AI?
The overall sentiment from analysts is actually quite positive. They have a buy consensus rating on the stock,
Okay.
with many analysts believing there's significant room for growth. Their average price target is considerably higher than the current trading price.
That sounds promising,
Yeah.
but I imagine some analysts are hesitant
Yeah.
given their financial performance.
You're right. Some analysts are concerned about their reliance on those government contracts and whether they can meet those ambitious growth expectations.
Okay.
Remember, consistent profitability is still a challenge for Spectral AI.
So there's a bit of a tug of war going on. Some are excited by the potential, while others are more cautious.
Right.
How has this affected their stock price?
Their stock price has been volatile,
Mm-hmm.
with periods of gains followed by declines. It's a bit of a roller coaster, which is pretty typical for a company at this stage.
It sounds like investors are trying to figure out if Spectral AI is the real deal.
Yeah.
Or just hype.
Yeah.
Speaking of investors, who are the major players holding the reins at Spectral AI?
There are a few key names to know. Eric Spangenberg, a director, is the largest shareholder,
Okay.
followed by Dr. DeMaio, the founder and chairman. Then you have Highlander Partners LP, an investment firm with a sizable stake.
So is it mainly insiders calling the shots? Or do everyday investors have a say?
It's a mix. Insiders own around 38%, giving them significant control.
Okay.
But institutional investors hold about 24%, and retail investors like you and me own about 37%.
That's an interesting balance. It
That's
seems like
great.
retail investors could really sway things if sentiment shifts. Now, before we wrap things up, I think it's crucial to do a proper risk assessment. Let's break out the SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats
Okay.
to get a clear view of where Spectral AI stands.
A SWOT analysis is a great way to understand the company's overall landscape. Let's start with their strengths. Spectral AI has a first-mover advantage in the AI-powered wound assessment market. They're pioneers. And that gives them an edge in capturing market share early on.
They're the trailblazers staking their claim in this new territory.
Exactly. Plus, they have proprietary technology and a robust intellectual property portfolio. Those patents protect their unique position and create a barrier for competitors.
Those patents act like a moat around their castle.
Right, precisely. And let's not forget their massive data set of burn and diabetic foot ulcer images used to train their AI algorithms. That data gives them an advantage in terms of accuracy and reliability.
Data is king, especially in AI.
Yeah.
And what about government support? How does that factor into their strengths?
It's a huge advantage. Beyond the financial stability, the government backing lends credibility to their technology, which is incredibly valuable in healthcare. It's like a stamp of approval from a trusted source.
So we've got first mover advantage, proprietary technology, a massive data set, and government backing in their corner. But I know there have to be some weaknesses too. What are the potential pitfalls?
Their dependence on government contracts is a significant factor. Any changes in government policy or funding could impact their bottom line.
That makes sense. What about their financial performance? We've talked about their lack of consistent profitability. Is that a major red flag?
It's certainly a concern. They have a history of negative earnings, and their short-term liabilities exceeding their cash position is something to watch closely. It's not a deal breaker, but it is a weakness.
So they have the technology and the potential, but they haven't figured out how to consistently turn a profit.
Right?
What about opportunities? Where could Spectral AI go from here?
The AI medical imaging market is booming, and that's a massive opportunity for them. As this market grows, Spectral AI is well-positioned to ride that wave.
They're surfing the AI wave, hoping to catch the perfect break.
And remember their handheld deep view system, Snapshot. That opens up possibilities beyond traditional healthcare settings. The military emergency response remote areas with limited access to healthcare.
So they have the potential to go global and reach patients in all kinds of settings.
Yeah.
What about partnerships? Could those be game changers for them?
Strategic partnerships could be key to their success. Teaming up with companies with established distribution networks or expertise in specific healthcare areas could accelerate their growth.
Partnerships could be like rocket fuel for their growth. But what about threats? What are the potential obstacles that could hinder their progress?
Competition is a major threat. The AI healthcare space is attracting many players, including some big established companies. Spectral AI needs to stay innovative to maintain their competitive edge.
It's a race to the top, and they can't afford to fall behind.
And the regulatory landscape is constantly evolving. Any changes in regulations could create hurdles for them. Plus, technology is advancing rapidly.
Right.
They need to invest in R&D to ensure they remain at the forefront.
It's like navigating a constantly shifting maze, but with high stakes.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the economy. A downturn could impact healthcare spending, making it harder to secure funding or sell products.
So they face internal and external challenges. They need to stay agile and adaptable to succeed.
Absolutely. Navigating these threats will be crucial for Spectral AI's long-term success.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from Spectral AI's business model and financials to their position in the market and the risks and opportunities ahead. Let's wrap up this deep dive with a final analysis. But before we do, if you're enjoying this deep dive, be sure to subscribe to this Stock Analytics AI YouTube channel for more in-depth analysis and insights on companies just like this one. We cover a wide range of sectors and always strive to bring you the most relevant and timely information to help you make informed investment decisions. All right, so we're back for the final part of Card Deep Dive, and it's time for the final verdict.
Based on everything we've discussed, it seems Spectral AI is fairly valued at its current price.
Yeah.
They have a lot of potential, but some uncertainties remain.
So not a screaming buy, but not a write-off either.
Exactly. Their future hinges on a few key things. They need to secure FDA approval for their burn indication. They need to successfully expand commercialization and product sales beyond government contracts. And they need to continue developing new applications for their AI technology while nurturing those key government relationships.
It sounds like execution is critical. They have the pieces in place, but now they need to deliver.
Absolutely. If they can navigate these challenges, Spectral AI could be a major player in the AI-driven healthcare revolution. Their technology has the potential to change how we approach wound care. And that's something worth watching.
Well, folks, that concludes our deep dive into Spectral AI. It's a company pushing the boundaries of AI in healthcare with massive potential, but also some risks to consider. Definitely keep an eye on this one.
It will be fascinating to see how their story unfolds. Be sure to subscribe to the Stock Analytics AI YouTube channel for more deep dives into compelling companies and emerging technologies. We'll continue to bring you the insights you need to navigate the world of AI and investing.
What stood out to you about Spectral AI? Do you think their strengths outweigh their weaknesses, or are you taking a wait-and-see approach? Let us know in the comments below.
And as always, please remember that the information shared in this deep dive is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We encourage you to do your own research and consult with a financial professional before making any investment decisions.
The research and analysis presented were based on publicly available data and AI-powered algorithms. While we strive for accuracy, there's always the possibility of human error or biases in the data.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.